Hello and welcome to my homemade mocktail cooking class tonight, my virtual class on making your own cocktails at home. I'm going to start by introducing myself, introducing the recipes, and then I'll welcome you into my kitchen for this recipe. Everything's ready for you for this epic cooking class. And I usually do my cooking classes in my private group, only for my customers. This is a public cooking class, so I'm happy to be able to welcome more people. If you do not already have an Epicure consultant that you do business with, or if you're already one of my customers, I'd be happy to serve you after this show cooking class if there's anything you're interested in. And if you already are doing business with a consultant with Epicure in the US or Canada, I invite you to contact that person if you're interested in anything I'm showing you tonight. So we are going to go through 4 different recipes or tips for your homemade cocktails, and they will all be virgin, no alcohol here. You can add whatever you want at home. These are great for family gatherings, for picnics, for fun too. So to introduce myself, I'm Charlotte Habegger. I'm an independent consultant and senior director with Epicure. I have been with Epicure for almost 15 years. Originally, I trained as a scientist, so I worked in a lab as a biochemist. And then I decided to stay home temporarily with my children. I even homeschooled for 10 years. So as you can see, it did not remain temporary. It became a family adventure, and I've enjoyed it. I love Epicure, so I decided to remain in this professional activity. It's become our main income and my main profession. Yeah, it's my profession. So I'd love for you to, it's brought us just so much stuff, so many adventures, and allows us to achieve our projects, the income, etc. So that's one thing I'm very thankful for. Now, enough about me. I'd love for you to share where you're watching from and what you're excited about this cooking class about mocktails. And I'm going to share four mocktail tips, recipes, etc. One of them is a simple syrup. Maybe you know how to do it already. Maybe it's new for you. I'll share as well what you can do with ice cube molds. I mean, actually any kind of only of our silicone molds, what you can do for cocktails. I have so much to share. That will be later. And then I have 2 recipes for cocktails. We're going to make a cucumber gin fizz mocktail, and we're going to make a picture of sangria too, mocktail, sangria, red sangria. So if you are a customer of mine, you are welcome to join my Facebook group called Your Epic Life through Healthy Eating with Charlotte Habegger, and I'll be sharing more about the recipes there. And if you have a consultant, make sure you check with your consultant. Maybe they have a group or a community, and they can share recipes with you. And anybody who comments here will get a PDF with your own on-demand cocktail chart. So Epicure offers meal plans, and one of them is a cocktail chart. So I'd be happy to send that to anybody who comments on this video. You can ask your consultant as well. Am I forgetting something? So yeah, let's get started. The first thing I want to share is a simple syrup. So a simple syrup is actually a classic recipe, something that people have been using for a very long time. It's something you can use to sweeten your cocktails or other food items or drinks. And I made one that's a little bit more liquid, because if you make the real recipe, the thick recipe, it becomes really it's a syrup. So if you're making a cocktail, which is cold and not hot, it won't melt, which means you might want your syrup to be a little bit more liquid if you're going to use it for a cocktail. Now, why is mine colored? It's because you can use our herbal teas, or any tea actually, to sweeten and to give a taste and to give a color to your simple syrup. So you could use our summery hibiscus, which is red. It gives a red color, and it also gives a stronger taste. It has a strong taste, hibiscus. Isn't that funny how flowers can taste strong? And then we have the pink lemonade, which is a pinkish, lightish color, more classic lemonade type drink. So I used the hibiscus, and the way you make a simple syrup is you could use all multi-purpose pot or any pot. So I use the multi-purpose pot, and what's great about the multi-purpose pot is it has measurements inside of it. It's very practical for the cups. And you need 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, and 6 bags of tea or herbal tea. You don't have to have the 6, it could be less, but if you want the full flavor, the full taste, that's what it takes. The multi-purpose pot is really practical. It's easy to handle for anyone, even if you have joint, pains, or for a child, or it's small too. Even though it has an 8-cup capacity, it's a very small surface. And then it has these 2 perforated parts on the lid, and it doesn't get hot. It's easy to hold. So you boil. Well, you heat it up actually. You heat up the 1 cup water, 1 cup sugar, and 6 bags of your favorite tea or herbal tea, and then you let it heat up until it goes down to half the volume. I'll share the instructions later in the description and in my group. And then also another way to know it's ready is when you put a spoon in it and it kind of sticks to the back of the spoon. That means your syrup is ready. So that's one thing, first recipe. The second recipe I want to share is ice cube molds. So actually any of our Epicure molds could be used to make ice cubes, even this one, because this is the glass I'm going to use to make my gin, cucumber mocktail gin fizz. And as you can see, it fits, the ice would fit the ice cube. And the goal of ice cubes in a cocktail, of course, you always add, on ice cubes for cocktails, for some of them anyway. However, another goal is that you can add flavors. So you don't want to dilute your cocktail with water. It would just kind of ruin the whole thing. So you can make ice cubes with herbal tea, with coconut milk, if it's like for a pina colada. You could put anything else that's going to be part of your cocktail, one of the cocktail ingredients, fruit juice. Pieces of fruit would be good too. You can actually use frozen fruit instead of ice. Good tip there. You want to add it at the last minute. So I prepared some ice for you. I'll show you what it can look like. I used our multi-purpose pot with some of our herbal tea, and I added, try one of these. This is what it looks like. I added you can see it's pink, and I added some fresh mint and some of our Tutti Frutti, or you could have added summerberry to the ice. So that's very practical. And I happen to have this fresh mint from, it's called Agriculture Urbain, I guess it's urban agriculture. It's a person who produces these, and my friend Michelle brought them to me, so I get to use this fresh mint for my cocktail. Now, having showed you that, I have 2 recipes to show you. One of them is the gin fizz cocktail. I'm going to follow the recipe and also share it with you in the description later in the video and on my group. So what you need for this is, normally it's gin. I'm not going to use gin. There is alcohol-free gin, or you could use if you want to replace it with something which is not necessary. You could add sparkling water, soda, but you want it to be white and you don't want to necessarily be sweet. So like club soda, for example. Okay, so we're going to need a cucumber. I have a mini cucumber here. Cute, right? And 2 fresh mint leaves. I have the fresh mint leaves. You can use any mint. Grated ginger. I'm going to use some of our ginger from Habegger. We happen to have that, so I'm going to use that. And then club soda, if you want to use that, and some lime or lemon juice. So I'm going to start by dicing the cucumber, and it's really up to you, because you could use our mandolin, our slicer, to make cucumber slices or spirals, or I'm going to peel it because I feel like it's kind of a little bit what is it called? The outside of the cucumber. It's a little bit, what's the word? Waxy-ish. So I'm going to peel it a little bit because I don't like the outside of this cucumber, but you could leave it. It's up to you. And then I'm going to dice it, and that's up to you as well. You can do the shape that you want. You could actually use a slicer, you can make slices, you can make spirals. It's really up to you. I'm going to dice it real quickly. So they say cover the bottom of the cup or the glass with the cucumber. I'm going to use half of my cucumber here. There we go. Make sure the bottom is covered. And then you're going to add 2 mint leaves. And I happen to have the fresh mint, so I'm going to do that here. Add 2 leaves of mint. And then you need a half a teaspoon of ginger, but I'm going to put a little bit less than that because this is so concentrated. I'll put just a little bit less with my 4-in-1 spoon. Go. That's there. And then what you would normally do is you add a little bit of lime juice. I prepared that ahead of time. We have our citrus press here. And this is where you'd add the gin, but I'm not going to add gin, so I'm just going to do it as this. And then you kind of just, you mash it. You could use, people are saying you could use a meat masher. We could use our Habegger ground beef masher, but it doesn't fit in this cup, but I could have done it in another, like in a bowl first and then put it in the glass. You don't have to make it in the glass like I did. So this would normally sit for 10 minutes, but because we're not doing it with alcohol, we don't need to do that. And then we can add to it the club soda or sparkling water, whatever you want to add to it. And we're going to add that. I just want to check. Yes, you could add some ice and club soda. That's what you want to do at the last minute when you're ready to drink it. And then you can remove any pieces that you want to remove if you don't like the mint that was in there, or the like you put the ginger, if it's grated, you could remove anything you want to remove before drinking it. And then that's when you would add your club soda or sparkling water to the rest of your glass and have it fizz up. So cucumber, gin, fizz, cocktail, mocktail. And you can add a fresh piece of mint. So I'm going to do that. I mean, the pick, right? So I have my cucumber, gin, fizz, mocktail is ready. Now my last recipe is the sangria. It's so yummy. It's so surprising how much it tastes like cucumbers too. To me, cucumber doesn't have much taste, and it's tasty in the drink. So the sangria, to make a sangria, I took 2 bags of the, I think I did pink lemonade, but I might have mixed the 2. 2 bags of herbal tea. I add about a cup of hot water the night before. And then I let it cool off. So to this, we're going to add, what's awesome about sangria, I wanted to say first, is it's good for everyone because people who don't drink alcohol, children, families can have it. And you could use a red sangria, that's what I'm going to make, but you could also make a white sangria. So it's either with juice, because we're not using wine, juice. If you use white grape juice and peaches, for example, that would be a very chic, cocktail for a special day or a special event. And if you're making a red sangria, it can be with berries or watermelon. And I'm going to make it with apples. Apples is actually very trendy right now for sangria. And imagine everybody will like it because they can eat the bottom of their drink, right? So make sure to refrigerate it for an hour before serving. And then you serve it in glasses or in a punch bowl. With alcohol, you have to add sugar because of the taste. Without alcohol, you don't need to, but we're going to add either fruit juice, or I can put a little bit of the sweetener because I'm using the herbal tea instead of the fruit juice, so it's not very sweet. Okay, so you can also add cinnamon stick. So to start, I'm going to add 2 cups of peeled, cored, and diced apples to the bottom of my pitcher that already has 1 cup of herbal tea that I prepared ahead of time. So 1 cup and 2 cups of apple. going to use my prep bowls for that. So practical to be able to measure with the prep bowls. 1, 2. So I already had 1 cup of the herbal tea already prepared. And then I'm going to add 1½ cup of orange juice. I made it freshly pressed with fresh oranges and my knife. And then the citrus press, which is good for cucumbers, oranges, and lime, lemon too. So 1 cup and a half. Oops, that's not the right one. 1 cup and a half of the orange juice. I have just about enough. And then a little bit of lime juice as well. And something I wanted to say, a little bit of sweetener too, because there's no sugar in it. If there were juice, if you made it with fruit juice, of course, it would be sweet. So a little bit of the syrup. And then you need a large spoon to stir it. This is the picture that's going to go in the refrigerator. When you serve it, you can put it in a bowl or a punch bowl, or you can put it in glasses. So now what you need to do is you can add a cinnamon stick. You could add fruit slices either inside or on the side like that. Well, that would be when you'd be serving it. And then now you're going to put it in the refrigerator for an hour at least. And when you're ready to wow your guests and serve it, then you can add soda water. You can add sparkling water, not sweet soda because that would be very sweet. And you would add the ice cubes like I talked about earlier, or frozen fruit directly in there, 2 frozen citrus slices, for example, for each glass. And then you pour the sangria for each person. So that's why you have to make sure you leave some space. It could be a little bit more full than this, but you want to make sure you leave at least half of the, half of it, so you can add the club soda, the ice, the frozen slices of citrus when you're ready to serve. So here we are with our sangria. So that's what I wanted to share. I think I shared everything I wanted to talk about. So thank you so much for following. I hope you're doing well and enjoy your summer. And I look forward to seeing you again under this video or in my group. Take care.